Hi everyone, 6 o'clock here on your Thursday. Thanks for starting it off with us here on Up With KREM. I'm Tim Pham.
I'm Nicole Legoo. Let's get over to Jenny Power this morning because Jenny, we're under a weather impact alert. What is this fire danger for our region?
Yeah, taking a look at this, Tim and Nicole here, we are seeing widespread red flag warnings for central and eastern Washington. So that's why we're under this weather impact alert for the day today. We are combining dry conditions, still above average temperatures and gusty winds, meaning that fires could start and spread rapidly. So for all these areas shaded in pink on your screen, which encompass most of central and eastern Washington here, we've got red flag warnings for the day today. Gusts near 30 miles per hour, so not quite as strong as what we saw last Tuesday, but it's going to be dry with relative humidity as low as 10 to 20%. Right now, as we take a live look outside, it is a beautiful start to the day today. Temperatures are mild in Spokane. Right now we're at 61 degrees and winds are light currently out of the southeast here at about 5 miles per hour sustained. Across the region, we're in the upper 50s for Coeur d'Alene, low to mid 60s in central Washington. The timing of when those winds are going to really increase, that's coming up in just a few minutes. Let's also get you out the door though with what we are seeing on your traffic impact this morning. I want to start by showing you a live look at I-90 and University, where things are moving smoothly through this stretch of the roadway. Road conditions are dry, traffic volumes still relatively low. As we continue to take a look across the rest of the region here, we are seeing some very similar road conditions out there. So that's something we'll continue to monitor. This is a live look for you at I-90 in Havana. You can see that through this stretch of the morning commute, things are also in pretty good shape. As we take a look at our traffic maps this morning, we are in the green with those average drive times. Nicole?
Thank you, Jenny. Well, this morning, the upriver fire is now 100% contained. Also, Spokane County Emergency Management now says the fire started in an unoccupied house.
And that house was destroyed in the fire. Investigators believe squatters could be to blame. However, the investigation is not complete yet. Spokane County Emergency Management says 14 homes burned. The assistant fire chief for Fire District 9 says while crews are still working on the fire to make sure that all the hot spots are out, he is focused on the investigation.
And meanwhile, we now know the person who died in that fire was 83-year-old Marilyn Haugen. Her family initially reported her missing when they could not get in touch with her. She had refused to leave when the fire first broke out and crews announced those evacuation orders. Crews then were not able to get to Haugen's home for days because it was too dangerous. The medical examiner did not release her official cause of death yet. Since the upriver fire is now under control, one Spokane business owner is making up for lost time since she had to evacuate.
KREM 2's Connor McAvoy spoke with the owner of Mama's Sweet and Sourdough Bakery at the Kendall Yards Night Market.
At Wednesday night's Kendall Yards Night Market.
This is our original loaf, our garlic rosemary, jalapeno cheddar, and sun-dried tomato basil.
You may find Tina McLaughlin talking all things sourdough with customers. She'd be the first to say baking wasn't initially her bread and butter.
I spent about 6 months making bad bread, and then it just, I was stubborn and I had to figure it out, and so then I just kept going and it turned into this.
She's run Mama's Sweet and Sourdough Bakery in Spokane since 2023, but her passion for baking got put on pause as her life and business were threatened. McLaughlin had to evacuate from her bakery as Level 3 evacuations came in for the upriver fire. Thankfully, everyone was able to get to safety as crews fought the fire and the building was still intact. When she was able to get back to her bakery, she discovered the power went out, leaving 100 sourdough loaves melted. But if it weren't for her family lending an extra hand, she says she'd be out of business.
I didn't even take starter with me as far as my business goes. That's the only thing I really need, and one of my kids was still there and they grabbed it on the way out.
Wednesday's market was the first time she got back out selling to the community after taking the past couple of weeks to assess time and product loss, though she knows other people who had to evacuate weren't as lucky.
My heart goes out to those that lost a lot, and I feel so bad for them, but I know that they'll be okay. Howdy, how are you guys?
For now, McLaughlin's grateful for everyone showing support for her business, taking every positive interaction and sale one loaf at a time.
And just such a great community that cares. Humanity matters, and it really showed itself after the fire and during the fire, actually.
Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Well, developing this morning, we're getting a look at the damage of the deadly earthquakes in Venezuela. The country was hit with 2 earthquakes last night, the first a 7.2 magnitude. The second happened less than a minute later, registering at a 7.5. At least 164 people have died and at least 1,000 people are hurt. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. is now sending search and rescue teams, medical resources, and humanitarian assistance to Venezuela immediately. Right now, rescue teams are going through the rubble of all the collapsed buildings, searching for people.
Looking ahead this morning, starting next week on July 1st, work zone speed cameras are now going to start sending you a fine for your first infraction. The increase comes after the cameras have been used more than 900 times at about 50 job sites since enforcement began last April. WSDOT says 85,000 work zone speed camera infractions have been issued statewide, with 77,000 of those being first-time infractions. So now first-time infractions will be $125. You may remember these cameras were just introduced here in eastern Washington along I-90 in Spokane County.
And today we are under a weather impact alert. We have widespread red flag warnings for central and eastern Washington because of dry conditions that we are pairing with wind gusts near 38 miles per hour. So new fires could start and spread rapidly under these conditions. Temperatures are a couple of degrees cooler than what we saw yesterday, but still above average for Spokane as we are reaching the mid 80s this afternoon. Low 80s through North Idaho with low to mid 80s out in central Washington. As we take a look at your day planner, we are going to be seeing some increasing clouds moving into this afternoon for a mostly cloudy end to the day today, ahead of showers moving in overnight tonight. Speaking of showers, we are taking a look at your Hoop Fest forecast. We just have the slight chance of some morning showers on Saturday, while Sunday in general has about a 40% chance of seeing some light rain. It's also going to be much cooler with highs in the 60s.
This morning, 5 members are officially now in the Hooptown Hall of Fame. The induction ceremony happened last night. Here's the inductees. Former Gonzaga men's basketball head coach Dan Fitzgerald, former Meade Panther and Zag Jeff Brown, former Central Valley star Emily Westerberg, the 06-08 Ferris boys basketball team, and Hoopfest perennial Kim Ang. The first round of matchups for Hoopfest 2026 are now out. More than 6,000 teams and 24,000 players will hit the courts this weekend.
So players can find their game times, court locations, and brackets all through the Hoopfest app. All that information is also on the team tracker on the Hoopfest website. Team check-in and packet pickup starts today at the Pavilion in Riverfront Park. And if you can pick up your packets through tomorrow, then all before tip-off on Saturday. And that leads us to our wake-up call this morning. So we want to know, what is your team name if you are playing? And if you're not playing, what would your team name be? Someone said, boom shakalaka. Court jesters, Swiss cheese. Okay,
Love
that's
it.
got to be one of the best right there. Cremamite.
One year, our creme team was creme de la creme.
That one's also
That was a
very
good
good.
one.
All right, keep texting us this morning at 509-448-2000.